on fire to the studio mics. Tune in weekly, we're dropping the spikes. Analyzing every punch, every kick that lands. Maniacs in the game, playing with fans' demands. Ken's got the insight, Joe's got the flair. Mapping out the fights, will take you anywhere. So grab your popcorn, buckle up tight.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up? What's up? Back again after a short hiatus. Just in time for the fight that we've been talking about for months now. But yeah, Ken had a little vacation and was doing some half guard smashing. So
that is now how I'm going to refer to it as. Thank you.
heavy pressure from the half guard, and so yeah. But Ken's back. We're back. We hope we didn't lose any of you guys. You know, probably went on last week like, oh no, what's going on? We're not canceled. We just, you know, Ken was on vacation, and so we're back just in time, like I said, for this big upcoming pay-per-view on Saturday. We've been waiting for this fight for probably close to 6 or 7 months. It got made once, and then Dricus got injured, and so they had to postpone it. And now Dricus is back healthy. I actually saw, so it's fight week, and they had a run-in. Hamzat and Dricus ran into each other in the hotel, and they were completely respectful. You know, Hamzat walked up, shook his hand. They were talking like, hey, yeah, I look forward to it. Let's have a great fight. So there doesn't seem to be any legitimate bad blood between the two. Not that really matters, because when the cage door closes, it's all business, dude. And I don't expect, just because Hamzat is friendly, I don't expect him to be friendly in the octagon, or Dricus for that matter. So I'm looking forward to fireworks, man. I think this has strong fight of the year potential. What about you, Ken? What are you thinking about this fight?
Oh, this is definitely going to be a hell of an entertaining one. And man, everything in me says that I think Hamzat's going to win and all that. But damn it, every time I go against fucking Duplessis, I end up fucking losing. So I'm going to actually go with fucking Dricus this time.
And you're going to end up losing. The one time that you pick Dricus, he's going to lose. Watch. I completely agree. Anybody who's watched the show for a little while has seen me pick against Dricus before, and same thing, dude. I finally got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm done doubting Dricus. But then they put him up against Hamzat, and it's like, well, am I really done doubting Dricus? Because I really feel like Hamzat is going to win, but Dricus is on a run right now that's really, really, I won't say unprecedented, but he's on a very hot run right now, dude. And we're gonna, that opens up an interesting avenue for conversation. But first, how do you see the fight playing out? Do you think that they stand and bang? I mean, obviously, Hamzat is going to try to get it to the ground early. You would think that that's going to be his strategy, right?
Well, you'd assume so, just because fucking Dricus is deadly with his fucking hands, and Hamzat's more of a grappler type. But, man,
but Hamzat's got hands too, though, man.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping that we're going to see them stand and bang. And with Hamzat, I definitely wouldn't rule it out, because he's definitely that kind of guy that don't have much fear in him.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is every fight starts standing, right? So Hamzat's going to have to exchange some striking to get in close enough, unless he's literally just going to run across the cage and double, shoot a double, which he could do, man. He did that
Dude,
against Kevin Holland.
Not to interrupt you, but speaking of that, I'm fucking scrolling Facebook this morning, and I see this amateur MMA thing. Maybe it was professional, but we're talking very low tier of professional if it was. Dude, it starts, the guy comes running up out of nowhere and fucking drop kicks the dude. I've never fucking seen that.
Like pro wrestling drop kick?
Oh, yes. I
Wow.
swear to God. And he hit it. He fucking hit it.
Hit him with the Mr. Perfect drop kick. Like,
I
mean, at that point, you might as well hit the dude with the perfect plex and be out of there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know, but I mean, Hamzat, there's a chance that he could just literally run right across the cage and try to double leg him, dude. Like, he did it against Kevin Holland. I wouldn't be surprised, but Dricus has shown really strong grappling, and so is this grappling as good as Hamzat's? I don't believe so. I think that Dricus is doing everything he can to train standing back up after being taken down. Like, I don't think he's going to want to stay on the ground with Hamzat. I think if Hamzat gets a takedown, that Dricus is going to do everything he can to try to stand back up and separate. I think Dricus has the advantage in the striking department. He has crazy power and unorthodox striking. Hamzat has power too. But Hamzat likes to, unless he's going to one-punch knockout you, Hamzat likes to use his striking to get into takedown range so he can just strangle you. So, also there's the question of cardio. I mean, this is a 5-round fight. Hamzat has gone 3 rounds with Gilbert Burns, and that was a great fight, but by the end of that fight, he was gassed, dude. So there's questions about Hamzat's gas tank. I personally feel like the longer the fight goes, the more it favors Dricus, because Dricus has that crazy fucking cardio that it's not quite Marab cardio, but like the guy doesn't get, see, the thing about Dricus, he gets tired 2 minutes into the first round, right? But then he just keeps going. Like, it's like it's not like Marab where he never gets tired. Dricus is like fucking exhausted by the second round, but he still keeps going at the same pace. It's like he learned how to fight exhausted and still keep that pace. So I like Dricus's chances the further the fight goes, but it would not shock me if Hamzat goes literally takes him down in the first round and gets him out of there, like strangles him in the first round, dude. It would not shock me at all. But it would make for kind of a disappointing fight, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, I'd be happy and all that Hamzat won, but for all the build-up, especially that we've had for it to end that quickly, and from Hamzat just choking him out,
just an absolute domination, like walkover.
Yeah. Think of it like a grown man doing jiu-jitsu against a 10-year-old fucking kid.
Yeah, it'd be like you finally got Britney Spears naked, and she's been like giving you a hand job over your clothes, and then when it's finally time to like get to half guard smashing, you just bust like after 5 seconds. You're just like, I mean, that's a good analogy because we've been sitting here edging over this, literally like edging over this for how long, dude? Like 6-7 months, drooling about how good this fight is gonna be. And then Hamzat just goes in there and just pounds him, just first round, takes him out. Like, yeah, I agree. That would be quite a disappointment.
Now, if Hamzat somehow went out there and within the first minute knocked out Dricus, then that would be a holy shit moment, because I'm not expecting that right off the bat from Hamzat. If Dricus did it, I'd be okay, that it sucks, but you can understand that.
hmm I don't know. Like, I don't think he gets Hamzat out of there in 1 minute, like with a knockout. Even as hard as Dricus hits, Hamzat's got a fucking chin, dude. So, like,
Oh, well,
I
yeah,
think it's gonna
I'm
take.
just saying that if it happened, it wouldn't be a
No, no, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying I don't think Hamzat. I don't think Hamzat is the kind of guy that's going to get knocked out with one shot. Like, I think, can he be hurt? Absolutely. Gilbert Burns hurt him, but he managed to weather that storm. And as quiet as it's kept, Gilbert Burns is one of the harder punchers in the welterweight division. Like, that dude has some hammers, bro. So he took those hammers, but then again, that's 170-pound hammers. That's not 185-pound Dricus hammers. So who knows, dude? Like, either way, I look forward to an entertaining fight. But I don't know. I have this feeling that Hamzat may just strangle him. But let's go into, like, because this fight raises some very interesting questions on both sides, right? Like, so let's play out the scenarios. Let's say Hamzat does go in there and strangles Dricus in the first round or two, right? He gets him down, he strangles him, he wins the title. Where does that leave the division? And because Hamzat, he hasn't really fought a whole lot. He's had issues with visas. He's had, issues with long COVID. I've heard some argument that if Hamzat wins, in fact, Dean Thomas, you know who Dean Thomas is, right? Dean Thomas is a former fighter. He's a coach now, but he was a fighter back when UFC was like the Matt Hughes days, like the Matt Hughes, Pat Miletich days, Dean Thomas was a guy that fought back then, Kevin Randleman times, right? And Dean Thomas said that he thinks it will actually be bad for the middleweight division if Hamzat wins.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember him now that I see his picture.
Yeah. So Dean Thomas said that he thinks it would be bad for the division if Hamzat wins because now we're only going to get a fight once a year, maybe. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I don't necessarily disagree either. Like, Hamzat hasn't shown to be a really active guy, but I'd like to think that if he won the belt, he'd be defending it, But so, what do you think the middleweight landscape looks like if Hamzat wins? Because think about the fights that it opens up, right?
Yeah.
How about this? Let's switch course for a second. Let's assume Dricus wins. Okay, so Dricus has already. If we look at the top 5 in the middleweight division, how many of them has Dricus already beat?
He's already got.
So let's name off the top 5 at middleweight.
Yeah, you got Amav at 1.
Imavov?
Yeah, Imavov. Okay.
Okay, so wow, they put Imavov up to 1 off of that Adesanya win, huh? That's crazy. Okay, so you got Imavov at 1. Dricus hasn't beat Imavov. Okay, so if Dricus wins, that's the next fight, and that's a good one. It's a good one. But number 2,
Sean Strickland
already beat him twice.
Yep.
Number 3,
wow, Hamzat
Shamayev hasn't beat him yet. Number 4,
Israel
already beat him. Number 5,
shit, he beat Israel so good he started fucking Israel's fucking decline.
I mean, I can understand why you would say that, but I think Israel's decline started before that, to be honest with you. I think Israel's decline started with when he lost to Pereira, and then he came back and he beat Pereira. Like, he slew the giant and climbed the mountain. But the very next fight, his very first title defense on his second run, he lost to Strickland. And I think that was the way Strickland outclassed him. I thought that was the beginning of his decline. Then he lost to Dricus. Then he lost to Imavov. And then Like, actually, I think Imavov might have been his last fight, but he's on like a 3 or 4 fight losing streak right now. So I don't know, like, where did Israel's decline start? That's up for debate, but I don't think it's up for debate that Israel is on a decline, right? I think his days as being the top contender or a title challenger or even the champion are probably over. I think he's going to be a strong top 5 gatekeeper, in my opinion. Like, I think, he'll be a guy that if he chooses to stick around, although if I was Israel, I would consider retirement.
Yep.
Because he had such a legendary run. It's like, really, at this point, even with his losses now, there's still really not much argument that he's probably the number 2 middleweight of all time behind Anderson Silva.
What's up there, Moonscar?
Hey, Moonscar, how you doing? He's probably the consensus number 2 greatest middleweight of all time, right behind Anderson Silva, right? And some people might even put him at 1. I don't, because Anderson Silva's prime run was just so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. We're going to break that down as part of the show. We're going to break down Izzy's legacy because as it relates to Dricus's legacy. But for now, we're going through the top 5 of the middleweight division, right? Dricus, there's 2 guys that Dricus hasn't beat yet, and he's fighting one of them Saturday. So if Dricus beats Hamzat, he's beat 4 out of the top 5 guys, and his next fight will be Imavov, right? So the question is, where does this put, if Dricus wins on Saturday, where does this put him in the legacy category of the middleweight division?
It's starting to put his name up there, but I don't think it's going to put him up for the contention yet, because as you had said that Israel was already starting his decline. I saw he started his decline. Dricus there started Israel's decline. But remember, I also had skipped out a few years of watching UFC, so I didn't see everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd want to see him take out a couple more of these guys. I want him to clear out the top 5.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, children, bro. Leave it running. So Dricus, I'm not ready to put him above Izzy in the all-time category. But I think he's close to Izzy. He's not close to Anderson Silva. In my opinion, Dricus needs at least 8 to 10 title defenses to come anywhere close to Anderson Silva. To Anderson Silva's prime. But I do think that the level of competition that Dricus is facing is a little bit higher than the level of competition that Anderson Silva faced during his middleweight run. So Anderson Silva had something like 12 title defenses or something like that. 11, no, maybe I think it's like 10, 11 title defenses. If Dricus gets to 8, I think he starts to knock on that door. I think he's in that rarefied air, right? But he's got a ways to go before he gets there. But so with Dricus, so like look at Izzy's legacy, right? Like Izzy, he beat Rob Whittaker twice, and Rob is considered a consensus top 5 all-time middleweight, right? So Izzy beat him twice. If we look at Izzy's title defenses, can you go back, pull up Izzy's last 10 fights, and we're gonna go through and we're gonna go through Izzy's last 10 fights, and because that should give us a good idea. I think he had somewhere around 4 or 5 defenses.
Yeah. Okay. Who?
So start with the oldest.
All right. Is Paulo Costa.
Ah, so he defended against Costa, right? He finished him in the second round. That's a good win. It's you know, I don't know. It's lost some of its luster because Costa has went on to lose a bunch of fights. But it's still, at the time Costa was a killer and he did finish him. So go on.
Then
Actually,
he's
can you go back? Can you go back? Go to Israel Adesanya's wiki page and go to his record. I want to see after he won the title. I want to count his defenses, and then I want to see who his defenses were against, because we're comparing Dricus now to Izzy's legacy. And again, just for clarification, I did say that I don't rank Dricus over Izzy just yet. That I still think Izzy's got the edge on him, despite the fact that Dricus did beat Izzy.
all right. Let's see though. Okay. From when he won the unified middleweight belt there against Robert Whitaker
Mm-hmm.
in 19. Then he defended it against Yoel Romero.
Mm-hmm. And what was the result of that fight? Decision? It should show you in that table right there.
Yep. Decision.
Unanimous decision, right?
Yep. And then he went to Paulo Costa TKO.
Okay.
Then he went up to light heavyweight against
Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
And he lost to Blachowicz, although that doesn't damage his legacy at all because he was going up for a belt.
Yep. Then he beat Marvin Vittori for defended his middleweight. Defended
again,
it.
By decision, right?
Yep. Then defended it again against Robert Whitaker by decision.
Mm-hmm.
Defended it.
Hold on. So let's count. How many defenses is that already? We got Yoel Romero. We got Yoel Romero.
Yep.
We got Costa. We got Marvin Vittori.
4.
So we're at 4. So, and then Robert Whitaker again. So we got four defenses, right?
Yep. Then you got Jared Cannonier.
Jared Cannonier, and that was another decision, right?
Yep. Then
So
he lost
5.
to Pereira.
Then he lost to Pereira. So he had 5. His first run, he had 5 defenses, right?
Yep.
And he
lost to Pereira by TKO.
Then came back and beat Pereira by TKO.
Yep. But no, by KO.
Well, yeah. I mean, the difference between a KO and a TKO in MMA it's very slight. Like he did knock him out cold, but yeah. The difference between a KO and a TKO is when the ref steps in. So, he finished Pereira, that's an impressive one. And then his very first defense, he lost to Strickland, right?
Yep.
And then after he lost to Strickland, what is his next?
Duplessis lost by a submission, and then TKO from Amalov.
Yeah. So he lost to Strickland, lost to Duplessis, lost to Imavov, and he was finished in 2 of those fights. And the Strickland almost finished him in the first round.
He was fit, or oh, you're talking about after he won it back from Pajeda? Was
Yeah.
finished. Okay, no, I got you.
Yeah. Izzy was finished after he won it back from Pajeda. Strickland almost finished him in the first round. He had him in the cage. Like, it was basically the Imavov fight. Did you see Imavov beat Izzy? How he knocked him into the cage with the right hand and then like he caught him. Strickland did the same thing, but he didn't get that one shot, that follow-up shot that he needed to get him out of there. Izzy managed to survive. So really, Izzy could have been finished in his last 3 fights. But ranking legacy, right? Like, and here's where it's gonna get a little bit maybe controversial for people. I don't rank Dricus above him yet, but if Dricus wins Saturday, in my opinion, he surpasses Izzy's legacy. And and we'll get into that. And that's just my opinion. But let's go to where Dricus won the title, right? From Strickland.
Yeah.
So, or better yet, let's go to Dricus's last 10 fights.
They're all wins.
They're all wins, but let's go through them, right? To measure, because he's got a few defenses already. But I want to get like where he won the title, who he beat because he beat Rob Whittaker to get the title shot. So his last 10 fights, what are we looking at?
Oh, the last 10 would be the Brendan Lesser submission by guillotine, Mark Perez KO, Trayvon Giles KO,
Trevin Giles,
yeah, Brad Tavares, I'm guessing.
Yep, Brad Tavares is a contender.
Yeah, decision. Darren Till submission. Derek Bronson TKO. Then you got the
Derek Bronson is also a top 10 guy.
Robert Whittaker TKO.
He was the number 1 contender at that point, and top 5 middleweight of all time.
Sean Strickland's the split decision. Israel the submission, and then the unanimous decision against Strickland the second time.
So, in his last, and that's his last fight, was against Strickland.
Yep.
So, how many title defenses is that for Duplessis?
2 defenses.
Really?
Yep.
He beat Strickland to win the title. He beat Adesanya.
Yep.
And then he beat Strickland again.
Yep.
Okay. So look at his last 10 fights. How many finishes did you see there?
7. 7 out of 10.
And he finished Izzy. He finished Tavares. He finished Derek Brunson. I mean, I don't know. I thought he had 3 defenses, but he only has 2. So maybe he won't if he wins this weekend. Maybe he still won't pass Izzy. But I kind of feel like the way that he's defending the title, right, is what matters. Because with Izzy's defenses, how many finishes did he have?
I think it was like 2. Hold on, I got it right over on the other one.
He had Costa.
Yeah, Costa.
and he had Tejeda.
Yep. That's literally it.
But that all those 5 defenses only cost him. He had 1 out of 5 finishes, right? Against the contenders that he defended the title against. So, just based off of that fact, the fact that Dricus is finishing top 5 guys while, other than Strickland, while Izzy was, basically point fighting to decisions, I don't think it's going to take Dricus 5 defenses to surpass him. I think if Dricus wins this weekend, he's got an argument, and if he beats Imavov, I think that's where I draw the line. Especially if he finishes both of them, if he finishes Chimaev and then finishes Imavov, I think he surpasses Izzy.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a thing, though, to finish fucking Hazmat.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I do think that if he can get it into the 4th round, he can gash Chimaev out, and there's a chance that he can finish him, either by punches or by just. I think it'd probably be punches. I don't know if he's gonna submit Chimaev, but fatigue makes cowards of us all, man. So if he can gas him out, who knows? But so let's pull up Anderson Silva's middleweight title run. How many? Let's Google how many defenses did Anderson Silva have of the middleweight title, and who are they against?
All right. He wins the middleweight against Rich Franklin. He defends it first time against Nate Marquardt.
Nate Marquardt.
Oh, yeah.
And he finished him.
Oh, yeah. Then defends it against Rich Franklin again. Finishes him with a knockout.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah.
Submission.
Yeah, submission against Dan Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had a lightweight bout, but you can't really count that one, even though he did knock the guy out, though.
Light heavyweight. James Sandman Irvin.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But then he defended it again against Patrick Cote.
Patrick the Predator Cote.
And then defended it again in a decision to, some French name. Follies, Leotis. I have no fucking idea.
No, he was Brazilian. Tallest, latest.
Ah, okay. Then had another light heavyweight bout against Forrest Griffin. Knocked him out there. Defended it again against Damian Mia. I don't fuck.
Maria?
Yeah.
Damian Maia, who was one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the entire world. That fight was terrible, though, because Damian Maia refused to them.
Defended it.
So how many defenses are we at so far?
Oh God. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 defenses of that. Not include, and that's not even including all the fucking light heavyweight
His
fights.
light heavyweight fight.
Yeah.
Okay. So then he has more defenses though.
Oh yeah. We're still going. You got
Mm-hmm.
Chanel Shonan in a submission.
Yeah, who? Chael
Chanel.
Sonnen.
Chanel Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen. Yeah, that was a great fight.
Vitor Belfort.
Got Vitor with a front face kick, knocked him out.
Yushin Okamati.
Yushin Okami.
Oh, Okami.
Yushin Thunder Okami. Yeah, he was a Japanese fighter before Japanese fighters were really like making their way in the UFC. He was like the one guy, like he was that one Japanese guy that was able to hang in the top 10 for a long time.
Yeah, and then defended it against Chael Sonnen.
Mm-hmm. Punished him that time. So how many is that? That's like 9 or 10 defenses already, right?
Yeah, that's 10 defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Stephan Bonner at light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally lost the middleweight to Chris Weidman.
Yeah. So he had 10 title defenses, right?
Yep.
So Dricus is nowhere near the legacy of Anderson Silva. And when we look at those defenses, like it was a mix of guys, right? Like Damian Maia was a top 10 guy. At one point, he was the number one contender. But, there's some guys like Vitor Belfort. He was a legend. Nate Marquardt was a stalwart. He was a mainstay at middleweight. Never was a champion, but always in that top 5, top 10. He was a good contender. Rich Franklin.
And I was going to say, I looked it up for Brent when it was happening. I couldn't find anything on it, but that was just me looking.
Is there a website that lists all MMA fights? Well, what do you mean by all MMA fights? Are you looking for upcoming fights, or are you looking for like the history book?
Yeah, I think he's looking for the history book for that one Lions cop fan there that Brent was talking about. Because I had remembered trying to find her fight and could not find it anywhere. It's probably the lower tier of professional. So it's a little hard to find some of that stuff sometimes.
Yeah. You can Google it. If you know the fighting organization that she fought for, then that would help. Or if you know her name, you can Google her, or Wikipedia her, and she might have a Wikipedia up already. But so Anderson Silva had 10 title defenses. At least half of them were against middleweight legends or middleweight guys that were stalwarts, that were longtime contenders. And he finished most of them. Right? There was like 1 or 2 decisions in that whole 10 defenses. Dricus is on a path like that, but he's not there yet. So at what point do you think he starts to breathe that rarefied air, Ken? Like if he beats Hamzat this weekend and then he beats Imavov, do you think that he surpasses Izzy at that point?
Izzy, yes. Silva, there ain't no way in hell yet. For that kind of run, during his run, I think Silva was the best fighter ever.
Yeah, but at what point, how many defenses do you think it's going to take for Dricus to even get into that?
Okay, that explains why I couldn't find anything, because Brent gave me her name to look it up.
Hmm.
So if you know her alias, you might be able to find it.
Yeah. At what point, how many defenses do you think Dricus is going to need to sort of sniff that rarefied air of the Silva legacy?
Bare
I
minimum.
said I said 8 defenses. If he gets to 8 defenses,
That's what I was gonna say. 8. I'd mention them in the same breath. I wouldn't put them above them yet, but mention them in the same breath. If he goes on that run, that like Silva, or even if he had 8, but with some of them in the next division up and actually fought and won the belt there, then I'd put him right around the same.
So if he was to go up and fight at 205 and win the belt there, interesting. Because their Pajeda is about to fight a rematch for the belt. I think it's in October or November. They just made that fight, Ankalaev and Pajeda 2. So if Pajeda was to win against Ankalaev, ooh, that would be a fight, wouldn't it? Dricus and Pajeda?
Mm-hmm.
Shama. So yeah, I agree. I think it's going to take about 8 defenses for me to put him in that same rarefied air. And I agree. I don't know if that puts him above Silva. I do think it puts him in the category, in the conversation.
If he double champs it, I'd give him a little bit more leeway, just because Silva didn't win a light heavyweight belt.
But if he's not going to be able to double champ it because now they're making him give up the belts. And no, but yeah, but I get what you're saying. You're saying win 2 titles, but I just want to point out that if he goes up, he's not coming back down. So if he goes up to 205, his middleweight run is done. So I don't think he'll move up until he's already cleaned out the middleweight division, right?
Well,
I think he's going to stick
and I was
around.
gonna say, looking through those rankings, he's only got a few fights left to do.
Yeah, but then he won't get 10 defenses or even 8 defenses. Because right now, if he beats Chimaev and then beats Imavov, he's already cleared out the top 5. So we're going to need a whole new top 5, you know?
Yeah, but I would personally count, since he never lost the belt, all of them defenses all the way through. That
What do you mean?
That if he wins them light heavyweight, any defense that he had for middleweight and into light heavyweight, as long as he keeps winning, I'd count that all on the same run.
Yeah, I don't know if others will. I think they would count them as separate runs, but still part of the same run. Like, it would definitely add to his greatness, but so if he manages to beat Chimaev and then beat Imavov, he's cleared out the top 5, which that in itself is very impressive. Like, to clear out the entire top 5, and it leaves the division in an interesting place because where does he go from here? Like, somebody's going to have to step up and beat one of these top 5 guys convincingly to get into the top 5 to earn a title shot, right? So I see what you're saying. It's sort of like Dricus is sort of being backed into a corner where he only has a few more fights where, that he can defend, and then he might have to move up. Now let's flip the script and let's say Chimaev wins. That creates a lot of interesting possibilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the top 5. Because how many of the top 5 has Chimaev beat? He beat Whitaker. That's it. He hasn't fought Strickland. He hasn't fought Imavov.
And Whitaker isn't even in the top 5 right now. He's 8.
Yeah, after that loss to Chimaev. But still, so Chimaev hasn't beat any of the top 5, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, he hasn't. So, I mean, think about, let's break down those fights. Imavov versus Shemaev, great fight. Israel Adesanya versus Shemaev, I don't think we get that fight. I don't think Israel will be. I don't think he'll go anywhere near Hamzat. I just don't. I think it's too dangerous for him. Sean Strickland versus Shemaev. That they have beef too. Like Strickland has talked big shit about Hamzat. Big shit. Like that would be a fight that I would really want to see, because Strickland, as technical as he is, man, I think that would be an entertaining fight. And I don't think Hamzat is going to look to take him down and strangle him. I think Hamzat's going to want to box with him a little bit and punch him up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you got to worry about Strickland's power.
Well, Strickland hits harder than. I mean, he's not pillow fisted, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not. Oh my god!
It's not. He's not Ilya, dude. He's not one punch KOing motherfuckers. I know what you mean, but he's not devoid of power. Like he did rock Izzy, and Izzy has a solid ass chin, dude. He did rock Izzy, and Strickland has a pretty solid chin too. I mean, it got cracked by Pereira, but who hasn't been cracked by Pereira yet? Like he's pretty much cracked everybody's chin. So, but Hamzat, if he wins, it creates a lot of interesting matchups at 185, and he gets to start his legacy. He said that he'd be willing to go up to 205 and fight for a belt. He's also said he'd be willing to go down to 170 and fight for a belt. So, like, Hamzat has big dreams. Like, he's kind of like, if he beats Dricus, then he's like, he wants to go down and fight Islam, and then he wants to go up. Right now it's Jack Della Maddalena, but then he's about to fight Islam, and so Hamzat could either fight Islam at 170 or Jack Della Maddalena at 170. And then he also wants to go up to 205 and fight either Ankalaev or Pereira. So there's a lot of interesting possibilities if Hamzat wins. But the activity is the question, right? How active is he going to be as a champion? Mm-hmm. Either way, I know we spent a good portion of the show, like 3/4 of the show, talking about the middleweight division, but I feel like this fight, I wanted the fans to get an idea of how important this fight really is for the division, and for the divisions immediately above and below it. Because there's implications there for everybody. And then there's also legacy on the line. Like if Dricus wins, he's one step closer. I think, in my opinion, he's one step away from surpassing Izzy and becoming the second greatest middleweight of all time, right? And you agree with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's still got a ways to go to catch up.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I don't know how many people are gonna get there.
There's a reason that no one has.
Yep.
10 title defenses is insane, bro. If you get to 5, you're a Hall of Famer. Like right now, Joanna Jacek, she got 5 at strawweight. She's a Hall of Famer. Valentina Shevchenko, I think she has. Let's look that up. How many does she have? She's a Hall of Famer right now. At least in my opinion. Would you say Valentina's a Hall of Famer at this point?
I was gonna say I wouldn't have an argument against it.
Yeah. And I do think she beat Nunes in the second fight. I feel like she got robbed of that decision, which would have made her a 2-division champ.
Okay.
Because Valentina's had 2 runs now.
Yeah, her first run, she defended it 7 times.
Really?
Yep.
let's go through that. So she had Jessica I.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Then Liz. Oh,
Liz Carmouche.
yeah, Carmouche. Okay.
She's
Caitlin.
tough.
What?
She's tough. Liz Carmouche. She's a former Marine. She's tough, dude.
Oh no
She's
shit.
actually she was the champ in another organization just recently. And she's old. She's in her twilight years of fighting. But Liz Carmouche is no joke. She's a beast. She's just not on Valentina's level. And then Caitlin Vieira, right? Or is it Chukagian?
Chukadian.
Okay, so she beat Chukagian. So that's 3.
Jennifer Mia.
Okay.
Jessica Andre.
Andrade. And she dominated Andrade.
Lauren Murphy.
Lauren Murphy.
Talia Santos.
Talia Santos. That was a close fight, too. Talia gave her a really good fight.
Yeah, and then lost to Alexa Grasso.
And then had a draw and then won the title back from Alexa.
Yep. And then defended it against Manon Farah.
Yeah, Manon Fiorot. So Manon Fiorot, like, so she's got 7 her first run. She's already she's on her second run. She's got 1 title defense. She's at 8 total title defenses. I mean, so if Joanna got in the Hall of Fame after 5, then Valentina's got to be a Hall of Famer at this point with 8 and 2 separate runs.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't realize she had that many her first run, because that's when I was barely paying attention to UFC.
Mm-hmm. And she has 2 separate title runs. It's very rare for a fighter to win a title, go on a run, lose the title, and then win the title back and go on another run. It doesn't happen very often. Usually, when you reach the title, that's like the apex of your career, right? Like you win the title, you go on your run, however many defenses you get, and then usually you don't sniff a title after that. Like you start your decline, and that's it. You know, unless you're like a really, really young fighter, then, you know, when you win the title the first time, then you have a chance maybe at a second run, generally. So like Rose Namajunas, she had a chance at 2 runs, you know. She had a chance at it. But yeah, it's interesting. The and they're talking about that fight between they're talking about making that fight with Valentina and Zhang Weili. And that's another fight that, you know, we've been itching for a while for obvious reasons, but it creates some interesting possibilities at strawweight and at flyweight, right? Like if Valentina is able to push back Zhang, does Zhang go back down and fight at 115 again? Or does she stay at 125? Is she only going up for 1 fight? Because Zhang isn't a spring chicken. I think she's over 30 already. In fact, I think she might be close. She's like 33 maybe, or 34. How old is Zhang?
That's what I'm looking up right now. 36.
36. Yeah. See, so she's no spring chicken. So I don't think if she goes up to fight Valentina that she's coming back down to strawweight. I think she's done cutting weight at that point, and she'll fight the rest of her career out at 25. But Valentina's also in that range of like 35, 36, I believe. And so let's get this fight done before they're too old for us to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Valentina's 37.
Exactly. Let's get this fight done in the next 6 months. Like let's get it going, dude. But it opens up interesting possibilities at strawweight because Verna was due for a title shot. Verna Jantarova, right? And who'd she fight at this point? Because, you know, Zhang just beat Tatiana Suarez convincingly. Like, who's gonna be the other fighter in that title fight? If Zhang moves up, she's got to get the title shot, right? You would think. I mean, she's earned it.
You'd assume so.
But who else is in that top 5? Let's go through that top 5 and let's see who else is there that they could throw her in with.
Yeah, you got Tatiana at 2, Yan Zhouhan at 3.
Yan Xiaonan. But Yan already lost to Zhang. Yan already lost to Zhang, and Yan lost to Verna too.
Yep. Amanda Lemos,
who Verna already beat her too.
and then Jessica Andrade.
And I think Verna already beat her too. I'm pretty sure Verna's beat everybody except Tatiana. But how do you give Tatiana the title shot coming off a loss? But there's really nobody else, like, because Verna's beat everybody else, right? This is what I mean by this creates interesting circumstances at strawweight, doesn't it? Like, you could literally see Tatiana get back-to-back title shots just because there's nobody else. And think about this: how, as much as Zhang dominated Tatiana, like, which I couldn't believe. Oh my goodness. Tatiana's my girl though, dude. Ooh wee. I'd like to do some half guard smashing with her. But what about Verna versus Tatiana, dude? Like, I think that's a very compelling fight. They're both very strong grapplers. Verna's tough as shit, dude. She ain't winning no beauty contest, but she's a tough lady.
Yeah, that's definitely one that you don't want to fuck with because she's going to completely embarrass you.
Yeah, and I'm not half guard smashing that either. Not at all.
Shit, she might put you in the back mount.
Dude. She might want to half guard smash you. But no, dude, but Verna, her jiu-jitsu is top level, dude. Like, we've gone through back before we got dinged for copyrights. We went through, like, some of her technique, you know, like the arm bar that she put on Amanda Lemos, how she set it up. And, you know, her jiu-jitsu is top notch, dude. It's very, very high level. So I see that fight with Tatiana being very interesting. It's going to be a compelling grappling match because Tatiana's going to want it on the ground, and Verna's like, okay, let's go to the ground. Like, you know, who would you pick in that fight? Tatiana versus Verna.
Verna. You
take Verna?
Yep.
As much as I hate to say it, I take Verna too. I hate to say it because, like, it's hard, you know, you don't want to pick against your girl, but, like, at the same time, like, dude, Verna's got high level submission game. She's a legit fucking black belt, and I think that she would find a way to get Tatiana out of there. But Tatiana is strong as shit, dude. Like, she's that strong wrestler type, you know, so it would make a compelling match. Unfortunately, we're at that 59-minute mark though, so got to end the show. We'll see you guys next week, and hopefully, you know, we'll have a good fight this weekend. You know, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, as much as we have our favorites that we want to win or whatever, like, I just want an entertaining fight, so we have some good stuff to talk about next week. Ken, you got anything to say before we sign out?
Nope. Other than thanks for watching, thanks for commenting. Have a good day, people.
Yeah, yo, it's game time. Ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From